Since we're in the off-season of MLW right now, it seems like the main debate with the community is on the Rookie of the Year race. Now, obviously, Levi Fleer took home the Rookie of the Year race over what a lot of people thought should have been Jeremy Adams. Now, regardless, this rookie class was pretty weak in my opinion. I think just comparing it to last year's rookie class and the year before that, this one stands out as being a little average to me, because even Jeremy Adams and Levi Fleer don't really impress me as huge players in MLW, but you could see that people are not super happy about Levi Fleer winning the award, despite there not being a lot of candidates for the award itself. So today we're going to be looking at some of the statistics and also talking about why I think Levi Fleer won the award over Jeremy Adams in MLW's eyes. But first of all, let's go over the facts. Levi Fleer was drafted 5th overall to the Predators last draft, and it was a really good situation for him because he was a pitcher, and their only other pitcher was Stephen McGlade, who you guys may or may not know that I pretty much hate as a pitcher. He was pretty much set right away to be the second arm in this team, and he was playing with the MVP who could coach him up, as well as a good set of roster that, as you could see, went all the way to the championship. So for Levi Fleer, this was pretty much a best case scenario where he could play right away, even batting in some instances. However, as some of you may know, this was not really the role that Levi Fleer took up. It seemed that him and Stephen McGlade would kind of split reps when it came to pitching, and Levi Fleer finished with an 0-3 record at the mound, and McGlade didn't do much better as he finished 1-2 at the mound, but he struggled as well when he was pitching. Now, both Levi Fleer and Stephen McGlade's ERA was pretty high. This team's real only hope of winning games was while Ryan Cratch was pitching, and that's kind of the way they've always been. But Levi Fleer was brought in to be a second pitcher. He was brought in to take the pressure off of Cratch, and I know that's a big responsibility for a rookie, but I think it's safe to say that he failed in that responsibility. When it came to batting, though, Fleer was much more efficient. He didn't get many opportunities because of Russell, Warda, Cratch, and Ramirez all being the main guys for the Predators, but when he did get his opportunities, he made the most of it. He had around a 400 on-base percentage, I'll put the number here up on screen, and he averaged 333 from the plate, so that's not bad if I do say so myself. But the reason that number seems kind of so exact as 1/3 is because he wasn't really at the plate that much. Now, most of these stats came from the end of the season, as he really did start to pick it up, but he wasn't at the plate that much, especially at the beginning of the season. So a lot of his at-bats, really, I think he only had 15, and I can't speak for all of them, but a lot of them came in pretty low-pressure situations for Fleer. Now let's talk about the main competitor of Levi Fleer in this award, which is Jeremy Adams. Now, Jeremy Adams was drafted 2nd overall to the Great Lakes Gators, and his opportunities and his situation that he was in was way less fortunate than Fleer's. First of all, he was drafted 2nd overall, which is a very high pick, a very high pressure situation pick, and it was off of a huge blockbuster trade where the Gators decided to deal Jorgensen to the Mallards in a 3-team trade with the Coastal Cobras. Now, why was this trade so crazy? Because with that, they're bringing in a young pitcher in Jeremy Adams to fill in a role of the franchise player. Now, Jeremy Adams hit .214 from the plate this year and had an on-base percentage of .374. These numbers, I understand, are technically worse than Levi Fleer's. But if you look closer at the statistics, you see that Jeremy Adams had so many more at-bats than Levi Fleer, it is impossible to compare the two when it comes to hitting stats. And when it comes to pitching as well, Jeremy Adams finished with a 2.20 ERA, which is very, very good. Not to mention, Jeremy Adams had a 3-3 record on the mound, which at face value might not look amazing, but you have to remember that he's playing for the Gators, and he has a Gators defense behind him, and most of the time, his team is going to have low morale because of the fact that the Gators are probably losing or maybe in a bad situation. And even though the Gators didn't have the worst season this year, they did not have the season that the Predators had. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, why haven't I brought up the playoffs once? why haven't I brought up the fact that Levi Fleer had a good playoffs and really helped the Predators get to the spot that they were in the championship? Well, if you ask me, the award shouldn't be based off the playoffs at all. First of all, it is not fair to other rookies who might have been drafted into worse situations such as Jeremy Adams or Patrick Ballman to base giving the guy the Rookie of the Year award off of playoff performances. They have never done this in the past, so I don't see why MLW would do it now. Secondly, I do believe that the award should have gone to Jeremy Adams despite his worst statistics when it comes to batting. If you look closer into it, Jeremy Adams had to bat so many more times for the Gators, usually against better pitchers than Levi Fleer was going against, because they would only put Levi Fleer in garbage time situations. But I kind of understand why MLW decided to give Levi Fleer the award, because Jeremy Adams wasn't that good of a rookie in itself. So either way, in my opinion, it's really hard to base these two guys off of Rookie of the Year performance because the class was so weak this year. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you like and subscribe. There will be more MLW videos coming down the pipeline, I'm sure, especially once the season gets started. Anyway, love y'all and peace.